Welcome to the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast. Real people doing real deals in real estate and no fake gurus allowed. We bring you the best and the most real estate investors in the space. They'll be showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly of real estate investing. Like, share, subscribe, get notified. It's the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast.
Welcome to the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today, we have a visitor all the way from California, Mr. Oscar. Oscar, thank you so much for coming in, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you for inviting me, man. It's been a pleasure.
It's my pleasure to have you here, Oscar. So, you know, you're a real estate investor now.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
And
I think so anyway.
Yes, that's what you like to think, right? And you're doing deals in California, right? That's your market?
Correct.
But take me to who is Oscar? Like, are you from the U.S.? Are you an immigrant? Some from immigrants? Like how? Like, tell me a little bit about your background.
Yeah, no, I'm from California. Born and raised in Fresno, California, Central Valley.
Okay.
And I've been there my entire life.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, just California raised, man.
Wow. So what's that big gang that's over there in Fresno that's got like a bulldog or something?
Yeah, it's the Bulldogs.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Fresno Bulldogs.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know about Fresno because
you wouldn't be able to wear your red shoes out there. I know
really?
You mentioned something about your red
yeah.
shoes? Yeah, you wouldn't be able to wear it out there, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's still pretty much an ongoing thing.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. How big is Fresno? Like,
it's pretty big, man. It's growing. I'd say I can't remember the population, but it's a big city.
Okay.
A lot of people are moving down from Los Angeles down to Bakersfield and to the Fresno area. It's growing quite a bit. It's a really great market too. I think it was rated one of the best markets in California.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because it's still very affordable.
Got it.
And I think the average cost for a house there is right around just under 300 still.
Under 300 grand.
Under 300, yeah.
Yeah, that's why people from LA will go there and
eating it up.
because rent in LA is $3,000 for a little bitty apartment, you know.
Yeah, no. I mean, LA. I mean, Fresno's getting actually pretty bad with rents
Oh.
as well. Prices are going up quite a bit, and they hold pretty strong. So
Wow.
you can find a good property.
So you grew up in Fresno, born and raised, went to high school, all that. What do you do after that?
Well, right after high school, I want to go work with my father up in the mines in Lone Park, California, and I did construction.
Okay.
Right, first time ever found out what real hard work is.
Yeah, hard hat, boots, all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. We're working up there with the miners, and the miners didn't like us, the construction workers there.
Why is that?
We were taking their jobs. Apparently.
Got it.
Man, I was 18. Just going to work when it was dark and coming home when it was dark, and all
Right.
the construction people did. I mean, they just drank. That's all they did, man.
Right.
And go to work. And so, my father was a foreman at the time, so he's I was staying with him and just hanging out with the guys, and just I had so many people just tell me, hey, go back to school, go do something else, you don't want to do this the rest of your life. And yeah, it's hard work, man.
And what? So what happened after
that? I kind of just I went to sales. I did sales.
How do you decide to quit? Like, what happened that you say you listen to those guys saying go back to do something else, or they shut down the mine? Like, what happened?
To be honest with you, it was just like a lot of conflict with my father.
Okay.
It's like working with family.
Right.
It's always going to be an issue. But
son, you got to do this.
Exactly.
And you're like, hell no.
Exactly. And then it's hard work, man. Like I said, it's hard on the body,
yeah.
Physically. I mean, I was probably the strongest I ever was when I was there.
Wow.
But just being away from family, and just like I said, you went to work at 4 a.m. and got home sometimes 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Took a nap and went back to work.
And that's it. That's it. It's just it just wasn't something I wanted to do. Got back to Fresno and went into sales. I did sales for a long time. Worked I did collections and sales when I got back. And then when I really got into sales, I helped a buddy of mine start up a e-liquid company. So
What is that?
That's for the e-cigarettes.
Yeah.
They sell the e-liquid.
Okay.
He started out as garage, man. And he came up to me and goes, hey, do you, you know what, make some money on the side? Just sell these things, right? Just sell these things and this is before it blew up.
Yeah.
Right. And I would go around just cold calling, and going up to like smoke shops and liquor stores and just selling those little things. And he blew up, man. He blew up real big. Big enough where he started to travel like in the States, going to events and selling his product. And I would be in charge of like handling the event, selling products, things of that sort. And yeah, it was fun, man. It was really cool. Did a lot of sales, built a lot of relationships. And then that market kind of took a dip. And then
why? Because all the vapes started coming out, or
regulations and things of that sort. Regulations, and then bigger companies were putting more money into it. And I just saw it like I saw the company was taking a dip.
Yeah,
right? And so
there was a writing in the wall.
Yeah, and then I started looking for a job, and then I saw a post for an acquisition position,
right?
For a investor in my area, big time investor in my area. So I went to go work there. I knew somebody there who can get me in, and she got me in. She got me in and did acquisitions. I was handed a script, and at the time he had inbound people setting appointments.
Right.
And he literally just gave me a script and said, "Here, go to these 6 appointments and try to buy this house as cheap as possible."
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
no training.
No, not really. I mean, the training was kind of like on the go. I did go with another acquisitions
Okay,
guy.
so you were shadowing somebody.
Yeah, I was shadowing him. And I probably went to like 3 or 4 appointments with him, and we got like we got deals right away.
Right.
And I remember just going to my own appointments a couple weeks after that and getting deals for the company.
Wow.
So it was really cool, man. It was a good experience.
Wow. So you became an acquisitions agent, and how long did you do that for?
I did that for about 6 months.
Okay.
6 months, and then I got let go. I got let go. And I think the reason he let me go is just he had doubled down on some marketing.
Right.
And I think he expected to get double the appointments.
Right.
Now, when that didn't happen, shit hit the fan a little bit.
Right.
And so he had to make some cuts and stuff, and it was a mutual agreement for us to split.
Right, because it happens a lot, right? Like you put money into it, and were you drawing a salary or something like that?
It was on a draw. So,
on a draw.
It was a draw. I think I remember it was like a small base, and then
the
it was
commissions.
a draw, and then you had to pay that back.
It was a mix, right? Yeah.
Right.
Right. So, I can see. Sometimes you put money into marketing, but the calls to leads to appointments don't translate.
Right.
And then you got the people waiting to go on these appointments, and you're like, oh man,
he also hired like more acquisitions at the time as well when he doubled down, because he expected double the appointments.
Right.
So when that didn't happen, he couldn't feed everyone appointments. Right. So it got kind of bad. And
he put a lot of money out, and he wasn't getting the
return.
The return.
So I'm sure he didn't want to make cuts. I mean, who likes to make
nobody
cuts?
Nobody wants to let go of anybody. So once you got cut, then what was for you? Like
once I got cut, I actually got approached by the guy who actually trained me there. He was like his top salesman guy there, right? And he told me he was going to go on his own, and he wanted to partner up. Right. And so I still only had 6 months of training, and he said, "Hey, I know you can close. I know you can get deals. Going to start my own thing. Do you want to come join me?" And I did.
Yeah, you didn't have a choice. It's like, what do I have to lose?
Well, and you got to remember, at this point, he was like the guy, right? He was the main closer. He was the guy closing everything. So I thought, honestly, I thought he was like the shit. And I was like, hey, this is another opportunity for me to learn from him.
Right.
So, and ended up being one of the worst decisions I ever made. I mean, it got me to this point, but the experience was just horrible.
Right,
man.
right. Because it was a whole different animal.
Yeah, it was just, it was bad, man. It was bad. I want to Yeah, he was not a good person. Let's just
Wow.
put it that way.
Okay.
You know, and partnerships, and they tell you early on, right? Be careful who you partner up with.
Right.
And you know, and I give everybody kind of like a chance.
Right.
I probably gave him one too many.
One too many, right?
One too many, man. But at the end of the day, I grew from it. I learned from it. I took an L, that's for sure. But more than anything, it was a proof of concept, right? After reviewing it, sitting back, being able to analyze it, right? We did maybe like 15 deals our first like 8 months, right? And then after I broke it down, I did 13 of those 15.
Wow.
So at the end of it, I was like, I don't need him.
Yeah.
You know? I can do this.
Right.
So just having that belief.
Now let's go back a little bit. So
Yeah.
you did 13 out of the 15, but when you say you did 13 out of the 15, did you buy them and sell them yourself, or you just locked them up and then he went and sold them? Like, how did that work?
No, I sold them. Like after really looking back, like I sold them.
You did the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, and this is back then where you can have open houses, right? Where
Right.
you can like send a text blast, say, hey, we're going to have a showing from like 1 to 3.
Okay, got it.
And you have like 10 or 15 people.
And this is all local model because you're just in Fresno. You're
Correct.
You're not wholesaling in Georgia or anything like
everything was driving for dollars. Mojo dialer,
Right.
like just picking up the phone and making those
that. Right,
calls.
just hustling. You were just
That's it.
hustling.
Just
Yeah, straight up
bro.
hustle. Yeah.
Straight up hustle, bro. Straight up hustle.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. Because that I can see now why you're growing right the way you are. Is you have the hustle in you. It's just that now it's just a matter of plugging in all these different systems
Yeah,
to make that happen.
It's crazy. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. The growing stages is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because you go from doing a couple deals, and then you try to scale that business, and there's just so much to do to scale that business, and so much to learn, and yeah, that's what brings us here today, right?
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, so you figure, okay, you know, I bought the deals, I sold the deals, I can probably do this on my own,
right?
and you just went and decided to do your own thing.
Yeah, I did. I decided to do my own thing, and then I got a partner that I currently have right now, and his name's Todd Piggott,
Okay.
and he is a hard money lender here in my local area. Well, he's in 11 different states, but
Right.
he basically presented me with an offer and said, "Hey, like, I'd like to create an off-market division at my company. Are you looking for a job?" And I said, "No, I'm not. I'm done
unemployable.
working for anybody, man." He goes, "Well, how
Right.
about a partnership?" So I heard him out, and we got to working on our partnership, and we came to a conclusion on how he can help me and how I can help him, and we just formed this like really, really nice relationship together.
Okay.
So he provides a lot of value and resources, and kind of just lets me do my own thing,
Right.
and do what I'm good at, and that's
Well, he's busy enough with his other businesses.
right. So he just allows me to kind of just do my thing and focus on getting more deals, and that's what I like to do.
That's good. I'm glad to hear. So, what does your operation look like today? Like,
So today, we have a small team, and when I say small, it's like 5 and under, right? I have 2 acquisition reps. I have a few VAs. We're outsourcing our cold calling at the moment. I have about 4 or 5 cold callers who are calling full time, and then I have 1 VA who does all the follow up and text messaging, and then I just hired a TC.
okay, transactional coordinator.
Correct, and then our next position will be dispo.
Got it. Yeah, which we talked about offline before.
Correct.
Good deal. So, you've been doing this for how long now?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So, in 3 years, how many deals have you done, like, in total that you can count on?
It's got to be 150, maybe.
150.
Maybe 150.
Yeah, that's about
somewhere.
50 deals a year.
Yeah, we did about 50 deals this year.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, we also do some in-house flips too.
Right.
So we're flipping too. And we average somewhere around 3 to 4 flips per month.
Right. So, and how long does it take you on the flips? Like, from the time to buy, fix it, and then sell it?
We'd like to be out. 120 days, right? We'd like to average that, but right now it's like 150, only because good work is kind of hard to find right now.
They're kind of hard to find.
Yeah, contractors and just like inventory.
Houses sit empty for a little while without work getting done.
But it's okay because, at the price points we're able to get them at, we can afford that time.
Right, right. And you have a partner with money, so the funding just takes place in-house, right?
Yeah, my partner, exactly. He brings it in-house. It's the good thing about that is we can get a little bit more aggressive if we need to. And then, if we need to tell somebody, hey, we can close in 3 days, we can close in 3 days.
Yeah, you got money in.
Right. And then, my business partner, he's doing some pretty crazy stuff right now, too. He just started a REIT, so he's, trying to build money right now.
Wow.
So, and he's building his own fund.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's going to benefit us in the long run as well.
Right. That's good, man. That's good to know. So on the wholesaling operation, you have 4 cold callers, 2 acquisitions guys, yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4, 6, 7 actually.
Yeah.
People. And now and 8 with the TC.
Yeah.
See, you just grew and you didn't even realize it. You got 8 people.
That's funny how we break it down like that, because I'm over here thinking it's just like 3.
No, you got all these people. You got 2 acquisitions, 4 cold callers, and you got a TC and yourself. That's actually 8 people.
Oh shit!
And then once you add your dispo, that's 9.
Right.
And eventually you'll continue to add more dispos and hopefully more acquisitions as you grow. If you grow bigger, like nationwide type,
which we are, right?
Operations. So you're looking to grow nationwide.
Oh yeah, we actually just joined Corey Gary's program, and I've known Corey for quite some time, and he's been helping us out with our PPC, and we're starting to get into other markets now. So that's been our growing pains, right? Because it's not our market, so dispo is a little harder, but we're locking them up.
Yeah.
So and as we continue to grow, we'll just get better. I mean,
it's just a process, and the first thing is a limiting belief. So I used to be on your shoes years ago, right? When I was the guy going to the appointments and I was locking them up and raising the money and fixing the houses and flipping them and all that. And then one day I saw Nick Perry. He's doing deals all over. And I'm like, what do you mean you're doing deals in Florida or Alaska? and he's like, man, I just do nationwide. And I was like, because he told me I live in Austin. And I said, Austin?
Yeah.
Is that a good place to wholesale property? So he's like, no, but that's where I live. And I said, so how do you wholesale property? So, we do it all virtual. We do it all over the phone.
Yeah.
And at that time, I knew what he was talking about. I just didn't understand the language. I said, what do you mean you're doing it all over the phone? He's like, yeah, we just close properties over the phone. And then my own limiting beliefs was like, I got to go see the house. I got to go create a rapport with the seller.
Right.
I got to sit on that living room or the kitchen table, get the contract, get it signed, then bring the contractors, execute, blah, 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 blah.
Bill report.
Yeah, right? He's like, yeah, Ricardo, you can do that over the phone, dude. You just talk to people on the phone, and you don't even have to do that. You train people to do that. And then, which I'm like, what? Yeah, so you do that, train people to do that, then you go and get pictures from the seller. They all have an iPhone. That's what it says.
Well, it helps when it's PPC and they're coming to you, right?
Right. Well, but actually the way we do it, which is texting, still get it done. We still do the report thing, but it's all built over the phone now.
Right.
We may do a Zoom call or a FaceTime, things like that. So once I saw him doing it, and then I saw a couple of other guys doing it, I said, maybe they're onto something. That's when I started, going that route. And it's just going to be a matter of time before you say, I don't need to go to a house anymore. One of the limiting beliefs I had also was my acquisitions and dispositions guys need to be here in the office.
Yeah.
I got over that already. Really? And now, so my acquisitions are in Miami. Now I'm shifting that to my VA. So even my dispositions, I'm shifting it to my VA. So I'm training those guys better so they can do it all. Literally remotely overseas. Probably in a year or so, I don't need this office anymore. I may just need my studio because I like doing this, like the podcast and recording and producing. But I'm like, I'm going to do all of that stuff overseas because, number one, they're hungry.
Yeah.
Number two, a lot cheaper than doing it here.
Way cheaper.
And number 3, I find more quality people, believe it or not.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's what
they're very hard workers.
they're hard workers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I think
think about your cold callers. What they sit in there all day long, rejection after rejection after rejection after until they get one, right? So
I think there's just the difficult part is just finding that right VA, right?
Yes.
But if you find them, I mean, they can be so valuable.
They are.
I mean, they just, yeah. I mean, the VA I have right now has grown so much. I mean, she does everything.
Wow.
She'll cold call, she'll follow up, she'll text, she'll I even had her do a little bit of dispo, talking to buyers. So I try to keep her as busy as possible, and I just wish I had 2 or 3 more of
like her. Yeah.
And I think that's the difficult part.
Right.
It's just finding that right VA.
Well, one thing you have to do when you get with these VAs, wherever they come from, is you gotta spend some time with them. And I'm guilty of it. Like, I have 29 or 30 VAs, and I'm like, dude, I don't even know some of the names of my VAs. You follow me?
Yeah.
So I'm guilty of that. Like, not spending enough time. Now, Cesar, Shane, Carlos, Carla, they all spend time with them. But me as the leader of the pack, I should get more calls with them, understand what they need, know their name, their family, because that's important for them.
Training is extremely important.
Training them. So
accountability too is just you got to keep them accountable because they'll go off track. They really will. If you we hold weekly meetings, and we're always tracking what they're doing, what they're saying, right? Because they'll go off script if you let them.
Oh yeah,
so
100%.
So it's just being able taking the time to manage them, right? And then training your right now, I even have one of my AQs actually hosting the weekly meetings, and I trust her.
Well, that's good. That's empowerment. You're empowering them to do it.
Yeah, and she and I trust her enough to be able to do that, and she's on top of it. So she's the one listening to the calls and following up on the leads. She's the best person, I think, personally, to have those meetings with the cold callers. So
that's awesome, man. I'm glad you're doing that. That shows you're growing, because you're letting go of power and empowering others to go. That
was the toughest thing for me. I'll be honest with you, and it's still tough to me to this day.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it gets they get uncomfortable, right? They always tell you to get uncomfortable. I mean, but letting go, and we talked about that earlier today. It's just it's to me that was very, very hard to let go.
Wow. Yeah. Now, for me, it was limiting beliefs, understanding that I had a limiting belief, and then I was like, oh, really? And then seeing somebody else do it, hold on a second, I gotta go do what that guy's doing so I can grow faster. I don't need to go invent the wheel myself. He has a wheel. Hey, what is it? What works for you? This is what works for me. Boom, 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 boom. Done. I'm gonna go do that, and that I implement it. Yeah. And are you gonna trip and fall? Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna make mistakes, right? And
well, that was so cool about coming here today, man. Seeing your operations, it's just like getting that belief and seeing other people be successful, and just being man, there's no reason why I can't do that either.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be my next thing, is just going to more of these masterminds and just meeting people who are just doing it better than you.
Yeah. So for many years, dude, I stayed away from that. I was because I thought I didn't need their knowledge for some reason. I was better than whatever because I knew it all, or I knew what I knew, and I had done ego, right? Yeah. So ego gets. Now, I just buy my way into as many groups as I can.
Yeah.
By buying my ticket, I go to Phoenix all the time, to the All In Guys events, and then I go, whoever is putting on an event, I'm I want to go tap into that network, and I want to learn what they're doing, because you can take the stairs or you can take the elevator.
Right.
Man, I'm taking the elevator every single time now.
Yeah.
But I used to take the stairs for many years.
Yeah.
Right? And, by the way, guys, we're doing a two-day goal-setting mastermind right now. That's why Oscar is here. He came from California. And then in this mastermind, we have nothing but 7-figure guys. I don't know if your operation is 7-figure or not yet, but I'm pretty sure after this, you're going to be close to that, be lingering around that.
It's just there's no excuse now. You know what I mean? It's just you see, Yeah, there's some great people here today, man. And
Yeah.
they've given me so much knowledge today. It's kind of exciting. Like I already want to go back and implement these changes. Right?
It's like, and you have to literally go there and like, okay, boom, 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 because otherwise you go back to doing the same thing, you're going to have the same results. Not that your results are bad right now, but it's like, okay, if I want to go have a $500,000 a month like freaking Scott is,
right.
How is it that you're doing it? This is what I'm doing. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, sir, I'm going to go do that, right?
Yeah.
Or if you want to get more deals with texting, which you own a platform,
right.
What is it that you're doing? This is this is how I'm pulling my list, and this is the places where I'm going. All right, I need to do just that, right?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about, like, even today, dude. Like, we're on day one, and I already feel like I was given enough, like, information to go make 7 figures next year. You know, we're in December, so like,
especially from the communications perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you communicate with your VAs,
Yeah.
with your acquisitions guys, with your dispo guys, you know, even with your family, like
Correct.
kids, you know, wife, parents, you know. Sometimes we analyze, like, man, now I understand why my dad and I freaking clash so much, right? Because we're not communicating effectively from one side or the other one, right? Which I used to have that problem with my father as well.
Right.
I just didn't like to be told what to do, right? and he was my boss, so I was kind of like on the same shoes as you probably were back then in the mines. But he's in the insurance business, and I was working with him.
I was young and dumb earlier too.
Me too. Like all I did was drink and party and chase women around. That was it. Like those were my 3 priorities in life, you know. Yeah. And those are not my priorities anymore. Trust me. I got one lady to choose, and that's my little daughter Manuela, because my wife, I don't even have to chase her anymore. But anyhow, it's being able to communicate with clarity, understand what your goals are, set boundaries, set goals, steps to get to those goals, and then surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah, that's key. I think that's one of the biggest.
Once you have that right network, man, you rise up so easy. It's not easy, but I was gonna say effortless, but that's not it. Really the work, because there's effort that needs to be behind it. But
you got to put the work in. That's for
you have to put the work in. Yeah. But I call it the financial thermostat, right? So, do you know what the financial thermostat is?
I do not.
You don't. Okay. So let's talk about the financial thermostat, guys. So AC units, they have a thermostat, right?
Right.
So if you go into your house and you want the temperature to be at 70, you just dial it to 70, and all of a sudden the AC, boom, keeps it at 70, right?
Yeah.
We all have a thermostat, all of us.
Yeah.
Yours may be at 100 grand. The next guy may be $1 million. Right. The other guy is 250. So we all have different numbers, right? Mm-hmm. And with different thermostats. Like my thermostat is set at 4 million, for instance, which it's been my highest year on assignments, right?
That's awesome.
Right, but this was a few years back.
Okay.
So it's high there, right? So what happens when I meet somebody that's at $1 million, and they're like, hey, so we start comparing, their thermostat starts rising.
I see. Because
now they're catching up to, if I'm willing to share, they're catching up to what I'm willing to share, and now they're like, oh, this is how you're doing it. You're showing me the roadmap. If I follow that roadmap, my thermostat goes up.
Right.
Right? But that's by association. Because if you don't find these people, how do you know? How do you even know it's real?
You don't.
You don't.
You don't. You got to take the leap of faith. I mean, I met you just by meeting Corey Geary, right? I mean, I met David Olds by
association.
Corey Geary, you know.
And you know how David and Corey met?
No.
Because I invited Corey to a mastermind, and David flew to the same mastermind.
Oh, okay. It's just crazy.
And David was invited by another friend, Charles, in San Antonio. So Charles and David knew each other briefly. They didn't know each other for a long time, but briefly. Charles called me and said, Ricardo, I want to put a mastermind together, and I want you to help me doing it, because I've done events for a while. And I was like, sure, I'll help you. What do you want to do with the mastermind? He said, well, it's going to be an invite-only mastermind, only players in this space. who do you know? And I was like, oh, I know a bunch because by now I've been investing in putting myself on the circles, right?
Yeah.
And I called Corey. I called, a bunch of other guys that showed up to the mastermind. But Charles called David. So check this out. So now Charles calls David. I called Corey. We all went to this one mastermind. Corey and David becomes friends. You end up in Corey's mastermind one way or another. I don't know how you got there, but you got there.
Right.
Right? You met David.
Mm-hmm.
You met me, and look at where you are now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the power of association and networking and you've been picking up your business not only from Corey, but now from David and from me and from all these other guys that you're picking because you're building your own Frankenstein.
Yeah, and you kind of have to though. You can't just pick one and just
no. There's no one hat fits all.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, but it's also exciting too because everyone's a little bit different. Everyone teaches you something a little, something new.
Yeah.
And I've learned something new from you with the texting platform.
Yeah.
David with the Dispo, Corey with the PPC.
Yeah.
And then who knows, next week, it might be some of the new guys that are here.
Dude, and I'm a late adopter. Like, I learned about novations a year and a half ago from Corey.
Oh, shit.
And I looked at that and said, I don't know, that looks too complicated. Like, too much paperwork. I'm good on the assignments, right?
Yeah.
And I was doing well at that time with assignments, so I'm like, I'm not going to distract myself with these novations. But now it's like, no, I need to force that novation because he's killing it, this other guy's killing it, this other guy's killing it. Seems to be actually easier than actually doing a freaking assignment. So I've adopted late everything I've learned, a while back.
Yeah.
Now, on the Dispo side, I went to David's event for 2 days, but because it was a 2-day in-person, immersive, as soon as I left there, me and Cesar had a whole list of action items, and we executed right away.
Yeah.
And boom, within getting back to the office, 6 properties were moved,
Yeah, I mean, I paid for some other programs in the past, dude, and just didn't really get anything out of it. And sometimes they didn't even get what we're doing now, some FaceTime.
Because they're just selling education, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're just teaching. They're not mentoring or coaching, which is pretty much what we all do now. Like Corey, myself, David. Even though I see myself more as a coach than a mentor, I had a couple of guys call me a mentor, and I kind of felt weird. But if you call me a coach, and I'm coaching you on something, I say, okay, yes, I accept that. But some people are just teachers, and they just want to sell the knowledge, and if whatever, it's like going to college.
It really is. Yeah.
You go to college, do they really care whether you got a job afterwards and became very successful or not? Hell no, they were just teaching.
Yeah.
But the coach and the mentor, a mentor, sometimes you don't pick a mentor, or the mentor doesn't know he's mentoring somebody.
Right.
Like, I'll give you an example. Do you listen to a podcast or do you follow people that you like?
Yeah.
Like who? Give me one.
I mean, Corey's one of them. Brent Daniels is one of them.
But okay, so let's talk about Brent Daniels, right? So are you on his coaching program or?
I was 3 years ago.
You were okay, okay, but you still see him as a figure that you follow.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, he could be considered a mentor to you.
Correct.
But he probably doesn't even know he's your mentor.
Right.
You follow me?
Yeah.
So that's the difference in between mentoring and coaching. Now, Corey is coaching you.
Yeah.
He could also be a mentor.
Yeah.
But he's coaching you because he gets on a call with you and said, Oscar, all right, what do you do, buddy? Hey, this is what I did. Bam, 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 bang. He's like, okay, change this, fix that, move this, do that.
Yeah.
Done.
That's what I like about Corey, you, and even David. I could text you guys, and you guys text back.
Yeah.
I can't do that with Brent.
Well, he's busy.
Yeah, and
but he's got thousands of students, right?
Yeah.
So
understandably,
once you get to that point to where you have thousands of people, it's like, man, you even have to change your phone number because
right.
You get flooded. I mean, you can have thousands of text messages. How do you get to all these people? You have to have a team purposely built for that,
right? But even with newer students, people just getting started, right?
Yeah.
And they always come up to me and ask me hey, what program should I buy?
Right.
I always say buy a program where you can go meet that person, where you can have one-on-one.
I agree with you 100%.
You know, where you can get
100%.
that coaching. You know, and whether that person's going to take time out of his day to really help you.
100%. I agree. I believe in vetting your coaches and mentors as well. Like, make sure they're doing it too. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I like Corey, because like, I want to learn innovations. I know Corey's doing them, right? And he's figured a way out to do them effectively. So, you know, is his program perfect? Probably not. But you know what? It works.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the beauty of it. I mean, you go like you see what his struggles are. You see what's working. You know, Corey will tell you that.
oh yeah.
We messed up on this property here
Right.
because of A, B, and C, right?
Lessons
so we're
learned.
going to make the adjustments so now we're better on the next one. I mean, there's value in that.
Yes.
You know, like I mean, not to say like let Corey make the mistakes, but like he's willing to make those mistakes. And,
Yes.
And
Well, he's leading the way and he's further ahead, right?
Right.
So he's been doing innovations now for over a year, right? So I'm gonna default to him. Like, hey,
innovations of the future. I think innovations of
Right.
the future. I think it's it gives you a competitor's advantage, and it's just it's gonna be the new wholesale. I think.
I believe so. I agree with it. With you, and I can't wait until we start implementing more innovations. We just barely got it going. I delegate too much now, I guess. So I delegated that to Shane, and Shane is in charge of implementing it, right?
Shane's such a cool dude.
Oh, he's a great guy. I love Shane, man. Like, Shane is my I love him. So I fire people over that, by the way. So because I chose him, you know, the other person. Maybe the other person was right, but I still chose the guy. So, but you know, I have a great team with Shane, Caesar, even the guys that came before that are no longer here. I still consider most of those guys part of the team because they made an impact here one way or another. Like Junior, Jesse, Sangster, Caxi. They're no longer working with me, but they came here and they did something, and we learned from it, and we grew from it, and they made money. I made money. Whether they're here with me or not anymore, it's beyond the point. But I still think very highly of all of them, and I don't think I've ever had a fallout with anybody in my team.
Yeah.
It's been more of a struggle. Like, man, I doubled down on marketing. Marketing didn't produce. I was expecting more of this person. This person didn't put out. Man, I'm sorry. I have to let you go. You know, things like that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's my fault.
Right.
You know, now they have to assume their fault if they want to, right? Like if they didn't, like if you have an ex that didn't lock up enough deals or whatever. I mean, you're putting the money because the risk is you and your partners, right? You guys are putting money on marketing and systems. But if the leads come in and he doesn't lock up the deals that he's supposed to, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You gotta make a decision. You either retrain him, repurpose him, or hey, I'm sorry, man, this is not working out.
Yeah.
Right. So happens all the time. But you're growing your operation. So what's in the future for you, right? Your immediate goal per se. What do you like to see in your operation?
Just consistency. That's what we'd like to see.
Consistency.
Yeah, because we've had 6-figure months,
right?
But we just like to have them, every month.
Every month, yeah, yeah.
So like, and just innovation is going to be a big thing that we pivot to this upcoming year, and getting that dialed down, and just killing it in 2022.
That's awesome, man. And then like on a personal. You want to start getting properties, being a landlord, or what? How do you see yourself doing that?
I think for at least for 2022, I'm going to be spending a lot more time focusing on my personal development. I think after this weekend, after everything, we're learning. It's just, I think personal development is just really big. I had a buddy back home. Shout out to my buddy Stratton Brown, but he's the one that pulled me aside and said, "Hey, like." If you're gonna invest money in yourself.
That's it. That you can't lose.
He's like, hey, forget the rental right now. Go put money in yourself.
Man, shout out. What's his name again?
Stratton Brown.
Stratton Brown. Shout out to you, brother. You got it, man. You're right. He's right.
Yeah,
100% right.
Yeah,
I've done a lot of that this year, and I'm continuously doing that well, you see, we put this thing together, and
Yeah,
and this wasn't a money making event. Like, I'm just trying to share the load in between all of us. That way, I'm not just the only guy, or you are not the only guy paying for the whole thing, right?
Right.
But because it really is a mastermind in a way, but it's a little different because we're setting goals, we're learning how to communicate more effectively, communication styles, how to be better with our team.
Right.
I'm actually very satisfied with a lot of the stuff that we went over today because I wasn't expecting it.
Man.
A lot of the stuff I wasn't expecting.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, and I've been working with Ruben since 2015, dude.
Yeah.
This is 6 years.
Dude.
Oh, he's amazing. He's amazing. But kudos to you, man. Personal development is where it's at.
Yeah.
I remember when I thought that was like a wasted money,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that we don't know what we know.
Right.
And now the more money I can put on myself, learning, surrounding myself with the right people, making new friends, alliances, like, hey, how can we help each other out? We just all, they say all time, rise in the ships, whatever, but we all together rise together.
I never thought networking would be so important and so key.
Oh my God.
In us growing. I just like, because you would just think like, hey, you're being a competitor and being, competitive, like you just want to do it on your own.
Yes.
Right. And so you really hold yourself back when you do that.
You do.
You really do. And like,
I did that for years, by the way.
Yeah.
For years.
And I bought coaching programs, and I bought but with the intention of getting instructions, right? Do this, and that. But never thought about actually putting money into myself or, going to these masterminds, right? And networking. But they're very important.
Man, one of the things with me is that I've been self-taught. So I learned how to flip houses on my own. I learned how to become a contractor on my own. I learned how to become a wholesaler on my own. Right. I went and looked for information. Okay, this is what I need, this is what I need, this is what I need. And I went and took action because I'm an action taker, right?
Yeah.
The first time I ever bought a course of something
right
related to wholesaling real estate was from Sean Terry. And we were already wholesaling. Yeah. And we bought the 100K wholesaler, which is how to become a 100K wholesaler every month.
Yeah.
And me and Dennis, it was like $1,000. And me and Dennis, my business partner at the time, we were having a tough time paying those $1,000. And we were already a 7-figure entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Why were we having a tough time paying for $1,000 for a course when we were already making millions of dollars? Is because we had a lot of limiting beliefs saying we don't need that. We can figure it out on our own. It was our ego and our pride. Right. Mm-hmm. But once we pay that $1,000, and me and him every morning, man, we got to the office, and I love Dennis, by the way. Shout out to Dennis. We'll come to the office together, watch these videos, and then implement. Okay, Ricardo, we got to do a vision traction organizer. Boom, implement. Okay, we got to do this. Go implement. Every day, dude. Every day. Like the first thing we did when we come to the office, watch those videos. Oh, we got to print out, 1,000 or 10,000 mailers because we started doing KPIs, reverse engineering the KPI. So we'll go do, okay, we got to put, 20,000 mailers. We're going to get X amount of calls, X amount of houses. And we'll go put the order on the mailers. And boom, next thing you know, we're getting the phone calls and we're getting the houses. And we're like, shit, this works. Yeah. Right? But we had a tough time paying $1,000 for that. And then we became a 100K wholesaler. And once we got there, we're like, okay, we're good. Because I guess we were satisfied. Like, shit, $100,000 a month is a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. And I still remember the first time I had 10 houses under contract. To me, that was like mind-blowing. I was like, because I came from the corporate world, man. And, having a job and having my salary on the board was like, man, I used to make $250 a year. I can make this in a month. Yeah, get out of here! Like, and my mind was in disbelief because I'm like, man, I just got this. Now I just got to go collect the checks, which is a whole different ball game, right? But yeah, shout out to Sean Terry there, who got me on the 100K wholesaler.
How much is that program now?
I think it's the same.
Is
like,
it?
yeah, like
Okay,
he's got.
that's pretty cheap.
No, he's
actually,
got a bunch of programs in there, dude. Sean is the GOAT, dude. Like, he's the best in my opinion out of all of us. I had him on our mastermind last year. He came over and spoke on the new tsunami that's coming with foreclosures and things like that, and how to capitalize on that.
Evictions are gonna be crazy.
Evictions will be crazy.
Man.
So yeah, it's but that was my first time ever paying for something. And then once I went back analyzing how I got to where I was at some point, I said, man, if I didn't invest that money on that, I don't know if I would have ever gotten to those 100K months.
Yeah.
How can I do more of that? So now I just make up excuses to getting myself into more courses and more networkings and masterminds. Right. And even if I don't have the money, some of these masterminds are very expensive, or not expensive, but they're not cheap, right?
Right.
So expensive is a limiting belief, because it's like, okay, if it's 25 grand to get on this mastermind, what can I do to get those 25K to get on that mastermind, right? Because once you plug yourself in on that group, the upside is going to be, right?
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because somebody that has 25 G's to go put on a mastermind, I mean, that's probably not going to be the last 25. And if it is, then they're doing their best they can to maximize, taking action and all that. So
it'll come back, man, tenfold, I mean, just, that was the toughest thing for me. It's like, I've spent a lot of money on a lot of programs, and just, but I could say to this day, all of it helped, and all of it has come back, right? And you'll never lose that knowledge. You'll never lose those relationships.
No, I even bought a program for Manny Cash. Shout out to Manny Cash in San Antonio, Texas. Dude, Manny's only been in the game for like a couple of years, but he did a cold calling course, and he's got a very thick accent, like Venezuelan accent, and And I said, man, I gotta buy, because most of my VAs are from Venezuela, as you know.
Right.
And I said, I'm gonna buy Manny Cash's course, and I'm gonna make them watch that course, because they're gonna be able to relate, to this guy that speaks broken English.
That's awesome.
And they're gonna learn the process on how he calls and gets deals and properties, and and he's good. I started watching it, and he's pretty freaking good on the deal, right? But he's only been doing this for a couple of years, and here I am. I've been doing this since 2008. I don't mind learning from the guy that just came on the business, and like Scott, he was outside. He's only been a wholesaler for a couple of years.
That's crazy, dude.
He's got 100 people on his call center, right?
He's killing it.
He didn't model anybody. He modeled himself pretty much. He went and built a monster, right? And here he is. He flew from Colombia just to come here to be with us this weekend. That's crazy. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
There you go. You're leveling up with a guy that you're like, oh shit.
Sitting right next to him too.
And hanging out with him, right? He said, dude, how do you do this? I got a lot of questions for him, by the way, this weekend. And you're going to see on the next podcast, Scott Moore. Shout out to Scott. And La Masulits, by the way, you got to go check out that service he's got. It's a top-tier service for real estate investors, especially wholesalers with large operations. But, man, Oscar, thank you so much for coming in, man.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate you for sharing your story and your experience. And I'm looking forward to have you around again in maybe next year or so to see what the progress has been, because I see a lot of these podcasts, right, where I see people coming in different stages, right?
Yeah.
And a guy like you, I like to see what that next stage looks like when it took place already. So
it's exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, especially when you're going to grow, right?
Right.
And there is plenty of room to improve and to learn.
Always.
And surround yourself with the right people. But man, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Man. Thank you,
guys. Don't forget to hit share, like, and subscribe. Attend Growth, May 27, 28, 2022. Website will be up on January 1st. We're going to be running a lot of ads. We're going to have a ton of speakers coming up to that event. It's going to be in Houston, Texas. Only 2 days. 2 days only, guys. You guys don't want to miss on the early bird, okay? We're going to have some discounts, early bird discounts, so we can have a lot of these networkings and mastermind and things like that together. We're going to level up and grow. Called the 10 Growths. I hope to see you there, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.